Parley. 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 Parsnip. Parsley. Partner. Parley. That's the one. Parley. 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 Damn to the depths whatever mutton they thought of Parley. That would be the French.
Hey there Retro Games fans, this is Andy C from Pieces of 8-Bit. So today I'm going to do a pickups video. I don't normally do these, but I've picked up so much cool stuff just lately that I really want to share it with you and talk to you about it. I will still be doing my usual video on Friday, so that will be the Atari 2600 Plus a month with. I will be swapping the consoles over and talking to you a little bit about what it's been like to live with the Atari 2600 Plus in my living room and playing all those wonderful Atari games. And I'll talk to you a little bit about the history of the Atari 2600 itself, a little bit about the 2600 Plus and its setup and how it works, and talk to you about the gameplay and what it's been like to live with. So that's coming up on Friday, so keep an eye open for that. So yes, over the last sort of couple of weeks or so, I've been kind of doing some, I've been kind of looking for some bits and pieces. I felt at the end of last year there wasn't really anything that I wanted. Clearly it's an obsession and there's been lots of things that I've wanted, turns out. So I wanted to talk to you about some of those things I've picked up today. Been on eBay quite a bit, picked up a few things on there. One of my absolute favourite purchases was an eBay purchase, which I'll talk to you about in a moment. I've been to the Black Country Gaming Fair, which was on Sunday of this week just gone, so beginning of March, March 2nd I think. That was really cool, so I picked up loads of stuff up there, and I've also been out to Retrosect in Tewkesbury, which is a fantastic retro shop. He also sells retro cars as well, which he restores, which are fantastic. You can go and have a look at those. If you happen to be travelling down the M5 down to the southwest on a Wednesday or a Saturday, I definitely recommend stopping in at Retrosect in Tewkesbury. It's a fantastic shop. It's a lovely guy, the guy that runs it, yeah, he's got some amazing things in there. Not just gaming stuff, but you know, things like Pokemon, old 1980s toys, old computers. He's got loads of stuff. Absolutely brilliant shop. Some real rare finds in there as well, and the quality of the product is absolutely amazing. He makes sure that everything he sells is in absolutely tip-top condition, so it's really good. I've bought quite a few bits and pieces from him. I've got a few bits to show you today as well from there. So let's get stuck straight in. So the first thing, I'm going to cover the easy bits first, and I'm not going to cover all of the games that I've bought in great detail because I've bought loads of stuff. But there was a chap at the the gaming fair on the weekend that was selling games for 50p a go. So I picked up a big pile of stuff. So I won't talk to you about it in detail. Some of these things you will find amusing. So picked up a couple of Tiger Woods games. Always been quite a big fan of the Tiger Woods series. They're 2004 is my favourite, so I've got 2003 and 2005. I already own 04, of course, but I thought I'd just pick some of them up. You know, I thought I might see if I can collect all of them. I might do a bit of a sort of golf game retrospective. I've got quite a few golf games across various different platforms. It'd be quite good to go back and have a look at some of those and sort of talk about what's good. I enjoy them. Not everybody's cup of tea, I totally appreciate that, but I do really enjoy golf games. So 05 was pretty good. 04 was definitely my favourite, but 05 was pretty good. Never played 03. I think I've got about 6 or 7 other versions of this, plus I've got World Class Leaderboard and a few all sorts. I've got quite a few golf games knocking around. This one you will laugh at. A couple of SingStar games. So randomly I just decided to pick up some SingStar microphones and have a go with it with the kids, and as it happens we really enjoyed playing it. I've got some PS2 SingStar games and some PS3 ones as well, and I'm just trying to collect them. I mean, they cost like 50p or £1. So if you fancy a good laugh, you know, they're good fun with the kids, but also if you've had a few beers, you know, you've got people over, you know, it's basically karaoke. So, you know, it's good fun, you know, and they are cheesy, but they have some great tracks. I've got quite a few SingStar games now. And you know, me and my son one night a few weeks back had a sort of session where we just ended up singing. It was really, well, I say singing, he could probably sing better than me. He does GCSE music. I on the other hand sound like a strangled cat, but it doesn't really matter. It's good fun. So we played that. It was quite good fun, and so I've been looking for some of the SingStar titles to sort of top up my collection there as well. Picked up Myst 3, a game I do actually own on the PC/Mac, but it's a bit of a nuisance to install it now, so I picked it up for PS2. My youngest son is absolutely desperate to play this. He loves the Myst games, which is great fun. Picked up some Xbox 360 games as well, so another EA Sports golf game. This is Tiger Woods 12, Virtua Tennis 3, F1 2010, so this is another one I kind of wanted to have a look at. So we've been playing the modern F1 games quite recently, kind of want to go and have a look at these as well. Picked up Anthem on the PS4, which is a game that I keep sort of looking at and then deciding whether I want to play it or not. 50p, if I don't play it, doesn't really matter. Also picked up a couple of games on the Xbox One, so these again also 50p, so the whole Destiny collection, or the Destiny collection I should say. I think there's more Destiny games than this, but never really played Destiny. 50p, might give it a go, might not give it a go, we'll see. And Titanfall as well, another game which I've heard about quite a bit, really just sort of haven't played it much at all. Well, I haven't played it at all, to be honest, but again, 50p, it's one of those things. It's probably on the Xbox Live subscription, to be honest, but Game Pass even, but it doesn't matter, I've got it 50p. So other games that I've also picked up, I'm just going to skip over these. Picked up some Saturn games, so I don't really have a lot for the Saturn, and I quite like the Saturn, but haven't really got a lot of stuff for it. It's quite hard to find Saturn games now as well, so I picked up an absolute classic. So picked up Road Rash. Love this game. Can't wait to get stuck in with this. Absolutely fantastic. I will definitely be playing this when I get the Saturn out next time. Another golf game. Thought it looked quite interesting. If I do a golf game retrospective, this will be one that I'll have a look at. Pebble Beach Golf Links. Never heard of it before. It's a Sega game. Graphically, it looks quite good considering its age. So we'll give that a go. I've played the Pebble Beach course on various Tiger Woods games, and it's one of the nicer ones, so that should be fun too. And also Alien Trilogy, again a game that I've never played. I played Alien Breed and things like that. I was too scared to play Alien vs Predator. Is it Alien vs Predator? No, Isolation. Alien Isolation. I'm too scared to play that game. Everybody tells me it's terrifying, and I'm a scaredy cat, so I didn't. I decided not to play that one. Okay. A couple of games for the PS1. So this is going to shock you. I don't actually own Final Fantasy VII. I've played it on monthly games. It's also on the PlayStation Classic. Comes bundled with that, but I've never actually owned a copy of it. I picked this up for £10, which I think is actually pretty good for Final Fantasy VII. Well, I think it is anyway. I don't think that's too unreasonable. I picked up Ridge Racer. This was an eBay purchase, Ridge Racer Revolution. Now the reason I've got this one, for those of you who watch my channel regularly, this is the Retro Red Steve Racing Challenge, Lap Time Challenge game this month. I have played this game already, and it will come as no surprise to anybody who watches those that I'm absolutely rubbish at it. This is not the Ridge Racer I remember, but yeah, I've only played it, I think I've just played it once, maybe twice, and I got stuck against the wall. I couldn't even work out how to reverse the car, so that wasn't a great start. Hopefully I can improve before I actually do the recording for that, which is going to probably be next week. And then I also don't own Grand Theft Auto, so I picked up Grand Theft Auto as well from the Black Country Gaming Fair. I've got every Grand Theft Auto apart from the very first one and GTA 69, so I thought I'd pick this one up. Yeah, I will definitely be able to go at this at some point. I love the Grand Theft Auto games. I love the top-down ones as well as the modern 3D ones as well. So I'm going to save these two for a minute, the next two that I've got, because these are not PlayStation games, so I'm going to save these two. You can already get a clue from what's going on here just by the back of that. I'll talk about these in just 1 second. So in terms of some other games, also picked up a few more games for the 2600. So I didn't actually mention them at the top of the call there. There's a shop in Falmouth down in Cornwall called Toys on Titan. Shout out to them. They've just extended their shop. I've been in there a few times before. They have loads. They don't actually have lots of retro game stuff in there. They have a few bits and pieces, but they do have. They have loads of other bits and pieces as well. So they've got Pokemon stuff, Lego, toys, all sorts of things like that. So I picked those up. I picked some more 2600 games up. I picked some up before Christmas as well, and I picked a few more up again. So I picked up 2600 Boxing. This is the first cartridge I've had from them that doesn't actually work, or I can't get it to work at the moment. So I might just need to give it a bit of a deeper clean, see if I can get this one going. It almost works, but it's sort of, there's something not quite right with it. When you load it up, it loads, but the graphics are all over the place. So I need to have a bit of a play with that one. This is Yar's Revenge, which is a classic game. I tried playing in this. God, that game is hard. This is such a difficult game. Played Yar's Revenge. This one, again, I picked up. Now, this one, you won't know what this is because the cartridge itself is in an absolute mess. For those of you who are familiar with 2600 games, you will know what this is. This is Asteroids, in fact. This cartridge, despite its look, does actually work. And again, it's one of those things where I paid a couple of pounds for it. And you know, it's one of those things. I might see if I can try and get some stickers for the case or something, you know, just to tidy it up. But I'm not desperately worried about that. But I know what it is, so that's absolutely fine. So that's those. So on to some console purchases now. So I'm going to talk about the simplest and probably the least interesting one of all. And I don't mean to do it a disservice. Just the other two are kind of interesting. I picked myself up a classic Game Boy. So I do own already a Game Boy Pocket, a yellow one. But this was in Retrosect in Tewkesbury. He was selling this. I think I paid £65 for this one, I think. But it's in such good condition, and I'm sort of toying with the idea of having a proper Game Boy. I do in fact have, where is it? Let me just show you a few of these here. So this is the Pocket. I also bought this from Retrosect, I think. Oh no, this might be a CEX purchase actually. So you can see how much smaller it is. But there's something about the classic Game Boy that's really interesting. And what was quite cool as well is that I've probably talked about this before. I've got the Retro Flag GPI case, which is sort of a version, you know, like it's supposed to look like the Game Boy, and it's remarkable actually holding the two side by side, just how similar they actually are. Obviously this has a much bigger case and it's colour screen and it's got more buttons and all those kind of things, but it is quite cool to look at those two things together. That's actually quite a bit heavier, but then I suppose it is doing a lot more. But yeah, lovely to get hold of one of these again. And I was playing Super Mario Land on this, which is one of my favourite games. One of my favourite games, period, actually. I love that game, but yeah, great fun on here. So that was the Game Boy. Now, probably my favourite purchase, and there is a bit of a story behind this one. You can just sort of see it in shot here. For those of you who are familiar with it will know what this is. This is the Intellivision. I will do a month with series on this at some point, and there is a game on here that I am going to talk to you about in just a second. But this was an eBay purchase. Now, I picked this up on eBay. I think I paid about £100, £125 for this, and it is absolutely immaculate. Now, the Intellivision, some of you may not be familiar with this. So the Intellivision was sort of a competitor to the 2600 in the late 70s. So this came out in 1979, and it is, you know, it's got that sort of wood veneer finish on that you see on the 2600. Very similar sort of style of design, but it comes with sort of hardwired controllers that are sort of on these kind of telephone cords here. They tuck away nice and neatly, so it's a really nice, neat platform. I can't do it with one hand. And the lovely thing about this was it came with 4 games, which I'll talk to you about in a moment. And it also came boxed. So here we go, here's the box. The box is looking a bit battered, but bearing in mind that this box is nearly as old as me, I think that's probably fair enough. It's got the original inserts in it as well. And first impressions, and I say first impressions, I'll clarify. First impressions of this are, it's absolutely brilliant. All the cartridges that it came with just worked. I don't think this has been used very much. I think the owner of it before said they were having a clear out and they hadn't really used it very much as well. And the cartridges are still quite stiff to put in, like it's new. Every cartridge worked. One of the things I really love about the Intellivision is the fact that all the games come with these sort of inserts. So you get these kind of inserts here, and these sit over the top of the controllers here. So you slide them in there like that, and they sort of give you all these extra controls. Now, the controls themselves aren't brilliant by modern standards. They're okay, but once you add that sort of little extra detail on them, I think it's really cool. Now, The reason why this console is so special, and I wasn't in the market for an Intellivision, was that I had been looking at some, trying to work out, I think this was based off a YouTube video that was done a little while ago, a VR, where someone was talking about what was the first game you remember playing. And unfortunately, I could not remember the first game I played. There is a game that I played, and I played it around my friend's house when I must have been about maybe 7 or 8 years old, that I particularly remember. Now, I might have played on the Spectrum before then, but I don't think I did. I'm pretty sure this is my first gaming memory, so maybe it was a bit earlier than that. And his dad worked at the school. He was caretaker, and so he had a house on site. It's just a thing in the UK where they do quite often. Caretakers will have a house on the school grounds. And so after school, I would go to his house, or in the holidays, we'd go to his house and we would play on his computer. Now, later on, he had a Commodore 64, which was the first time I played the Impossible Mission, which is another game that I absolutely loved from that era. But I played a game on there, and I could not for the life of me remember what it was, but it was a game I always wanted to play when I went over. And it was, and all I could remember was there was a map with some mountains on it, and then there was some cave exploration that happened, and then there was some sort of dragon or mountain at the end of it. Now, for the seasoned gamer fans out there, and I probably should have just asked this on social media on my channel, you probably would have told me what the game was, but I could not remember what it was. The reason I couldn't remember what it was is because I thought it was a 2600 game. So on the face of it, you know, I remember playing on some console with a wood veneer on it. I just assumed it was a 2600. So I was looking through the catalogue, and I put some keywords in, and I couldn't work out what this game was. Anyway, the Intellivision, I'd been sort of thinking about the Intellivision, and I thought, I wonder, was that game on the Intellivision? And there's a game on the Intellivision which, like I say, those of you who are avid game fans will know, is a game called Advanced Dungeons and Dragons. This is the game. As soon as I saw the graphics for this game, I knew right away that this was the game that I played at the very beginning. So I'm not going to talk in too much detail about this, because I am going to do a retro review of this game later on. I did buy this as soon as I bought the Intellivision. I also bought this game separately because, yeah, this was it. I played it. All the memories came flooding back. This is absolutely the game that I remember playing. You know, my first gaming memory. I loved this game. So but this didn't come with Intellivision. I got a few games with Intellivision. I think one of them was a pack-in title, so I think the soccer game was a pack-in title. I haven't played. This is the only one I haven't played yet. I've played this one, but as you can see, the boxes are in all really, really good condition considering their age. They've all got their inserts in them as well, which is something that, you know, a lot of the Intellivision ones, the inserts go missing, and you have to sort of either make your own or just sort of try and remember what the buttons mean. Got that one. Got Space Armada, which, you know, obviously this is not an Atari console, so yes, as you can see from the back here, you can see that's a very familiar looking game. So that is a Space Invaders clone for all intents and purposes. It's a little bit harder actually. I played it the other day, and I found it a little bit harder than ordinary Space Invaders. Night Stalker, which is a game that I don't even know if I'd even heard of it before, but yeah, it's quite difficult, although I think I hadn't quite worked out how the controls work at this point, so I might go and have another look at that one at some point. Could be quite fun. Donkey Kong, which obviously needs no introduction. So this was Nintendo's Donkey Kong before the NES came out, and yeah, this was for the Intellivision. So it's quite a good recreation of the you know, the classic Donkey Kong. You will recognise it. It's not too bad. It's quite fiddly to play with these controls, but a very familiar game. And obviously, this is something that they bought to go with the console. And then of course Dungeons and Dragons, which I paid. I bought this separately online, and it's a pretty good copy. The box is a little bit battered, but you know, if you're prepared to compromise on that, you'll get a better price. I've seen this go for all sorts of prices. I think I paid about £11 for it, but I've seen it go for a lot more than that for one that's in pristine condition. And one of the things was I checked that it came with the inserts and the instructions as well. So all nicely packaged there. Really happy with that. So that was fantastic. I was so excited to get and play that game again, and I was absolutely thrilled with the Intellivision. The condition of it is perfect. It's got, I mean, the glue is starting to go just on the bottom here on this sort of metal sticker that's on here, but I mean that's about it, and there's the tiniest little scratch there. Other than that, you could be mistaken for thinking this thing was brand new. It is absolutely immaculate, and I was so pleased. I feel like I got a real bargain on that, and I've seen people selling these for silly money when they're in pristine condition. It's usually when the boxes are in pristine condition. I don't really care about that, you know. I like it. It's nice to have a nice box to put it in, but you know, I want to see the console. I don't want to see the box. So I'm more interested in just getting on there and playing on that. And now to my very last console purchase and the last 2 games that I bought for that. So yesterday, I had a bit of a fire up of this and had a good go, and this took me back. So I picked this up at the Black Country Gaming Fair, and it cost. Well, he actually did me a really good deal, so maybe I won't say what it was because I'm just going to take that off there. If you've seen it already, that wasn't what I paid for it. I bought this from Vintage Gamer, so they tend to go to these fairs. I've seen them at a few of these different fairs, and they are in up in Birmingham, up Walsall Way. Yeah, I bought a few things from them before. I bought the PlayStation 1 that I did the month with series on, which was in absolute pristine condition. I bought the Dreamcast from them as well last year at Retro Revival. So I've had really, really good experience with the stuff that I bought from there. But he did me a deal with this with a couple of games. I actually saw Retro Bear up there, and he got me spooked because he said, what have you bought? And I said, I bought the Mega CD. And he said, how much did you pay? And I told him. He was like, oh, no. And I was like, oh, this is the point where you're going to tell me it was like 150 quid or something. And he said, no. He says, I wanted it. So he said, let me know how you get on with it. So I will most definitely do that. I'll almost certainly, once I've got a few more games for it, probably do a month with series with this. But I went for the Mega CD 2. So the Mega CD 1 is a much nicer looking unit, and it sort of stacks, and you can put the 32X in the top if you're made of money. But I wanted the Mega CD 2. I specifically wanted the Mega CD 2 for 2 reasons. One, because I wanted a Mega Drive 2. So I have the Mega Drive 1. Mega Drive 2 has a few more options in terms of getting it hooked up to the TV. So I wanted the Mega Drive 2. And also the Mega CD 2 is known for being a bit more reliable. So the first one is known for being quite flaky. Whilst it looks better, it looks way cooler, it's very 90s, I wanted something that was just going to work. And I still think it looks pretty cool. I think it's a pretty cool unit. It's obviously weird because it looks like one unit, but you've still got to plug 2 things in, because obviously you can disconnect this Mega Drive as well. So yes, it's very excited about this purchase. I definitely have some memories of playing this through the 90s. In fact, I thought that there was a game that I think I played on here, that I thought was on the Saturn, but actually I'm pretty sure it was on here. So this was really the first time I think I'd played any kind of CD-based games. So it would have been 93, 94, something like that. So yeah, he did me a deal with a couple of games as well. So at the moment, this is all I've got for the Mega CD. So I've got Tomcat Alley, which is a sort of a fighter pilot game, and Road Avenger, which I tried playing yesterday. I couldn't get the hang of it, so I need to go back and have a proper look at this one. In fact, I couldn't get the hang of either of them, so I'm not sure what I'm doing wrong. Yeah, couldn't quite work out what I was supposed to do, but there's sort of a lot, especially this one is kind of like a sort of interactive video CD thing. It looks so ropey by modern standards now, where HD cut, like ultra HD cutscenes and all that kind of stuff. It looks pretty pants, but I quite like it actually. I quite like that. Sort of takes me back to the 90s, very, very, very 90s. So I'm going to pick up a few more games for this, and then I will do a full-blown review on the Mega CD and let you know what I thought of it. Obviously, Mega CD games are quite hard to find. The Mega CD wasn't really that popular, so it doesn't have the sort of support, and it's why the Mega CD I think are starting to gain in value now. Finding a good working one is getting increasingly difficult. So you go to the fairs, there might be one person selling it. One thing I didn't buy, and this is still on my list, will be a Master System 1. I talked about that in my Master System review last month, about getting a Master System 1 at some point. There was 1 or 2 up there, but once I'd seen this and I'd already bought that and I got the Game Boy, I was like, yeah, I probably spent enough money now. So yes, there we go. So those are my pickups. I'm not going to make a habit of doing pickup videos, just because, like I say, the reason I did it this time around was because I had lots of interesting things to show you, and this is sort of collective over quite a few weeks here. I realised just how much stuff I have picked up the last few weeks, especially when at the end of last year I said, there's not much I need now. I've got all the consoles that I want. I probably don't need anything else, but like I said at the top of the video, I think it might be an addiction. But there you go. Okay, so there we go. Those are my pickup videos. I can't wait to get more stuck in with the Intellivision. In fact, to be honest with you, I can't wait to get stuck in with the Mega CD either. I want to get some more games for that. But the Intellivision, just because, you know, it has those fond memories, I can't wait to get stuck in with some of the games on there. And then I've got loads of other things to play as well. So yeah, it's been quite the haul. I probably just need to dial it back a bit now. So yes, that's it then. So yes, as I say, coming up on the video, already mentioned about the Ridge Racer game, lap time challenge, that'll be coming up. Yeah, we'll be doing the 2600 Plus review this week and announcing which console goes into the room next time. As I mentioned as well, at some point I'm also going to be having a look at Advanced Dungeons and Dragons on the Intellivision, probably sooner rather than later, because I just can't wait to get stuck in with it. So yes, will I be sad to get the 2600 back into here and plug something else into the living room? Well, you just have to wait till Friday and I'll let you know. But yeah, that's it for today. So yes, until the next time, please do take care of yourselves. See you around. Bye for now.